Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I would be explaining the section 2 of business, trade and commerce, chapter 1, section 2, nature and concept of business. So this is the class 11th and business study subject. So let's get started. So first of all, talking about concept of business. So the term business is derived from the word busy. And what is now business? So business refers to an occupation in which people regularly engage in some activities. It is related to purchase and production and or sale of goods and services with a view of earning profits. So the activity may consist of production or purchase for goods or for sale or exchange of goods or supply of services to satisfy the needs of other people as well as for the society. So in every society, people undertake various activities to satisfy their needs. These activities may be broadly classified into two groups, that is economic activity and non-economic activities. So economic activities are those from which we earn our livelihood. For example, a worker working in a factory, a doctor operating in his clinic, a manager working in an office, and a teacher teaching in a school are doing so to earn their livelihoods and are considered as economic activity. Now, whereas non-economic activities are performed out of love, sympathy, sentiment, patriotism, etc. So, example is कि cooking food in home and teacher teaching their own children is not considered as an economic activity. Economic activities may be further divided into three categories, namely business, profession, and employment. So, business may be defined as an economic activity that involves the production and sale of goods and services undertaken with the motive of earning profit by satisfying human needs in the society. So these are the type of economic activities, that is business, profession and employment. So uh, let's distinguish between them. So mode of establishment, talking about mode of establishment. So in business, entrepreneur's decision is important and other legal formalities are also there if necessary. And talking about profession, so in profession we should be the member of the professional body and we should have the certificate of practice. And talking about employment, so we should have appointment letter and service agreement. Now talking about the second point, that is nature of work. So what is the nature of work in business? So provisions of goods and services to the public, it means that it helps the public for the consumption of goods and services. Now talking about profession, rendering of personalized expert services. And talking about employment, performing work as per service contract or rules of service. Now talking about qualification in business, so no minimum qualification is necessary. You can be a graduate or 11 12th pass. Now talking about profession, qualifications, expertise and training in specific field as prescribed by the professional body is a must. But in business, no nowadays MBA is very good for the business. And now talking about employment, uh, qualification and training as per prescribed by the employer. It depends upon the employer that what qualification will be the firm or will be the service or will be the job needed. Now talking about the reward or return, so in business profit is earned, in profession professional fee is earned, and in employment salary or wages are earned. Now talking about capital investment, so in business capital investment is required as per the size and nature of the business. And talking about the profession, so in profession it is required the limited capital that is need for establishment for the firm or practice. And talking about employment, so no capital is required as we are working for the employer, means as we are giving services to the employer. Now talking about risk, so in business risk are uncertain and irregular, risk is present. And talking about profession, it's not possible because we are having a membership of a professional body and what kind of risk do will the profession will have. Now talking about employment, so fixed and yes, fixed and regular pay, no or little risk. मतलब it should be like that कि risk हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है. Now talking about transfer of interest, transfer is possible with some formalities. For example, HUF, Hindu undivided family business, joint family business. So in which the karta will be, means if karta for any reason is not like running the business, the next eldest member of the family will take up the position of the karta. Now talking about the profession in the transfer of interest, so it's not possible because doctor's son or daughter will not become a doctor because membership is required. Now talking about employment, so it's not possible. Now talking about code of conduct, no code of conduct is prescribed in the business. Now talking about professional code of conduct is to be followed. Talking about employment norms or rules or regulation is like by the employer and they are to be strictly followed. Now talking about example, business may be in the shop or factory, professional is legal or medical, professional chartered accountancy. And talking about employment, jobs in banks, insurance companies, government departments, etc. Now talking about characteristics of business activities, now in order to appreciate how business activity is different from other activities in society, the nature of business or its fundamental character must be explained in terms of its distinguishing characteristics, which are as follows. So first is an economic activity. So business is an economic activity because it is undertaken with the motive of earning money and earning livelihood, and it is not out of love, affection or sympathy. And it may be mentioned here that this activity can be undertaken either on small or on an individual level. So for example, purchase and sale by a shopkeeper, or on large scale in more formal and organized level, or a purchase and sale by a cooperative society or company. Now the second point is production or procurement of goods and services. So before the goods are offered to the people for the final consumptions, these must be procured or produced by every business enterprises. So thus every business enterprise, they should either manufactures the goods it deals with or acquires them from the producers to be sold in the market for the final consumptions for the users. Now goods may be consist of consumable items such as ghee, sugar, oil, etc. And also the capital goods like furniture, machinery, and etc. Services may include facilities that is usually offered to the consumer, such as banking, transportation, electricity, etc. So the third point is sale or exchange of goods and services. So in the business, it's very important of the exchange of goods and services. So there should be the exchange of goods and services between the buyer and the seller. For example, cooking food at home for the family is not business, but cooking food and sell it to the others in a restaurant is called a business. So directly or indirectly, business involves transfer or exchange of goods and services for value. But means goods, if they are not produced for the purpose of sale but for the personal consumption, then it cannot be called a business activity. So the fourth point is dealings in goods and services on a regular basis. So business is only called a business when it is done on a regular basis. For example, if I am selling the cycle for only 2 to 3 days, and after that I stop doing the selling, then it is not called or considered as a business. But if I start selling the cycles on a regular basis, then it is called a business. So business involves dealings in goods or services on a regular basis. One single transaction of sale or purchase therefore does not constitute business. So thus, for example, I have took for the cycle. So that is the example. So the important thing is that it should be done on a regular basis. Then it is considered as a business. Now, fifth point is profit earning. So one of the main purpose of business is to earn income by the way of profit. So no business can survive for long without profit, and that is why businessmen make all the possible efforts to maximize profits by increasing the volume of sales or reducing the cost and improving their production and services. So the main motto or the main objective of business is to earn profit and profit. Now, talking about sixth point, uncertainty of returns. So we don't know that what will happen to the business after some years or after some months or even a day, because uncertainty of return refers to the lack of knowledge relating to the amount of money that the business is going to earn in a given period. So we never know that what amount of profit will be earned in the coming years. So, and also there is always a possibility of losses being incurred despite the best efforts put into the business. So there is always the uncertainty in the business. Now, talking about the seventh point, that is element of risk. So risk is the uncertainty associated with an exposure to loss. So it is caused by an unfavorable or undesirable event. So risks are related with the factors like changes in consumer taste or in fashion, changes in the method of production, or increased competition in the market. It can be theft, it can be accident, it can be natural calamity. So no business can altogether do away with the risk. So they cannot ignore risk, or nor risk ignore them. So element of risk is the seventh point. I hope you have understand the characteristics of business activities. It's very important. So first was economic activity, second production and procurement of goods and services, third was sale or exchange of goods and services, fourth was dealings in goods and services on a regular basis, fifth was profit earning, sixth is uncertainty of return, seventh is element of risk.